Welcome, everyone. I am delighted to have you here for this very, very special session with Lori Torick. Throughout her life, Lori has been an empath attuned to angelic realms. Today, she is an energy healer, sound healer, and author, sharing techniques from Reiki, sound healing, and vibrational medicine to assist the empath and highly sensitive individuals in developing their gifts to heal their lives, relationships, and the planet. Lori, it is such a pleasure to have you here. Thanks for joining me for this session.
Oh, thank you, Melissa, and thank you to all the beautiful people at Shift Network. I so appreciate what you do.
So for those that are listening, let me just start off by letting them know that I get to know you in real life, that you are my Reiki teacher, that I've done many sound healing journeys with you, which is why when Shift asked me, who do we need on this summit? You popped into my mind immediately. So for those that are listening who might not know what Reiki is, who maybe heard it mentioned, can we sort of start by you offering an explanation of Reiki and why it is so beneficial for empaths and highly sensitive people?
Yes, and thank you for that, Melissa. But before I do that, I'm being asked to sort of surround our conversation in light to protect all of those who have found their way into this circle so that they too may be protected and held in light, that only truth, love, and beauty comes through this conversation. So Reiki comes to us from Japan, technically. The lineage of Reiki that I teach and what I have been given to share with others comes from Dr. Usui, and he received Reiki as a beautiful force of healing and spiritual blessing about 100 years ago. We just celebrated the 100th anniversary of the birth of Dr. Usui's Reiki practice. Reiki is generally hands-on energy healing, where the practitioner would place hands on the one receiving Reiki. However, we also feel Reiki in the energy bodies, in the subtle bodies, right? And that's what and where empaths and highly sensitive individuals will feel the energy moving around them. Well, so do we as Reiki practitioners. And so there's a beautiful alignment here and an opportunity that I think is important for everyone on the planet.
And can you just share a little bit about how you came to be a Reiki practitioner? I know that for me personally, it was this long, meandering path. And I'm just curious if you can talk a little bit about how you came to do this work and maybe even share a little bit more about the work that you do. I know that you do more than just Reiki. So if you can let our listeners know kind of about all of that interesting stuff.
Sure. So I guess coming into this world, I was very sensitive as a child. And that wasn't, in the 70s. This was not a place where, my family was comfortable with. And in fact, I was taught that I was too sensitive and that I needed to control that and not to be feeling so much. And that was nearly an impossible task because I am who I am. We are who we are. But back east in the 70s, I did my very best to shut it all down. So I would have sort of individualized personal experiences of life that I knew it wasn't safe to share with others. And I started to receive guidance that was very personal and angelic in nature. But again, I knew it wasn't safe to share this with very many people. It wasn't until much later, I was actually a college professor at the University of Alabama, when I started dating a professor in the music department. And I had shared with him that I was receiving guidance from the angelic realm. And hearing myself say this to him and then hearing his response, and he said, I don't think I could be dating somebody who's communicating with angels. I heard it and felt it and knew there was some truth there, that it wasn't safe, and here I was now in the South where not many people are talking about this. And so I asked it all to stop. And I share this part because I have met many people who at some point in their lives have said, just stop. I don't want this information, this energy. I don't want to be this sensitive. Well, I shouted out, I do not want this. I just want a normal life. And it did stop. It stopped for 10 years. Well, 10 years later, I'm married to that beautiful person. And we moved on with our lives in a lovely way, but we grew. We grew spiritually. We grew to understand more about life. And times had changed when I started to hear about the empathic person and the one receiving guidance, the channel, if you will. And when it came back, when that guidance, energy, and beautiful presence came back in my life, I was a different person. My husband was a different person. It came flooding back in a beautiful way. And I really couldn't turn away from it, nor did I want to this time. I knew I needed to move forward into this work, and I knew it wasn't just for me. And from that point, during a meditation, I asked how to heal something in myself, and I was guided to go learn Reiki. And that morning I said, Reiki, that's how you say that word. I had seen it written, but never really heard it pronounced. And I said, well, that sounds hard. If I don't do that, what else can I do? And at that point, all of the energy just sort of collapsed. And that's how it feels when you're about to do something that is incorrect. The energy, the support just collapses. And at that moment, I started to hear about Reiki more, learn about Reiki, and knew that I needed to follow this path. I know it's a long story, Melissa, but I also know that so many people have a similar experience. When I share this story, many people nod along and say, oh my gosh, that's similar to what I did or what happened to me. The most important piece right now is that empaths learn to awaken. It may be a self-awakening. You may just have to, by the grit of your own understanding of yourself, say, I will not turn this off. I know that I'm here to do something more with it. But I hope that energy healing, Reiki, vibrational healing, sound therapy, all of these things can be very, very helpful. Not to mention batch flower essences, which is another form of vibrational healing, but they can give you that emotional support when things are getting tough.
Can you talk a little bit more about what you mean by vibrational support and maybe even sound healing? You know, we talk about all sorts of different modalities on the summit, and Shift does all sorts of different beautiful courses to help people kind of come back into their wholeness themselves. But again, because I know you and I know some of what you do, I'm wanting you to help our listeners learn from your wisdom about how it all works, how vibration really plays a role in receiving our angels, in Reiki healing, in becoming these really empowered, whole, integrated, sensitive beings and empaths.
Yeah, there's something I just wanted to write so I don't forget, because I think there's really like two parts here that are real important. Let me first talk about vibration. Everything on the planet, everything in the universe vibrates. We understand this now. Although I'm going to be honest, Pythagoras understood that. Everything in the universe, every celestial body, everything has a resonant frequency. That also means things that we can't see, things that are in the subtle realm. Your thoughts resonate. Yeah, speech, which we can't see, resonates. You speak it out, it has a vibration. So as you shift your emotions have a resonant frequency as well, but you see they rise and fall all day long. And what happens if you act upon the emotions, right? The emotions which were really here to discipline the emotions with the loving center of the heart, and to discipline our mind without going down worst case scenario constantly all day long. But we're here to discipline with the loving center of the heart. That's where our real divine power comes from. Because if we're putting out thought forms out into the universe of worst case, what if this, oh my goodness, then that can happen, this looks like that's going to happen, all of these worst case scenarios vibrate out and come back to us. But it's not just a simple circle around us. You've now informed, meaning put information out into the collective field. You see, we're sharing a field of energy. I discuss this in my book because I think it's primary, and so I have a little flower of life here. You may have seen this image many times over, but in Reiki, I'm told what we're doing is really healing the flower of life. this becomes imperative. But if you don't understand where you are in this map, this is a map of energy, then you may not understand what you've been doing, how you inform the map, and how you're receiving energy from this map. But the flower of life really is made up of circles that overlap. In fact, you are one of these circles. If we just follow this along here, let's just say this is you, Melissa, and this is your circle of energy. But you see, you can't exist without the energy field of other people that you come in contact with, and you may not even know that you are connected in that way. Now, the thing is, we have many of these flowers of life flowing through this because, as I'm showing you, this is a two-dimensional image. It's flat. And that's really the only way we can understand this flat image of the flower of life. It is three-dimensional, yeah, if not more, right? As we're understanding the multi-dimensional universe. So you have ways that you are connecting even beyond this intricate pattern. Now, where I'm told that we must focus is on these overlapping areas. Yeah, if this was your circle, this that perfectly intersects with another circle, this is called the Immaculate Concept. This area in the Vesica Pisces, I might be throwing a lot of stuff out here, sacred geometry. In the Vesica Pisces, that's where the divine plan exists. It's within these harmonics. That's a musical term. In these harmonics, we rebalance. Yeah. And that is where true healing takes place, because you can't just isolate yourself and become your own circle somewhere. And I've read those things. People are saying, oh no, the empath must protect, drop out of society. The worst one that I hear, unfortunately, is get rid of that which no longer serves you. Yeah, that you must protect your own circle and let no one else in because they don't serve you. The issue is the healing is within the harmonics. You may be one note. No matter how beautiful the 528 frequency is, by itself, it is a single note. It's the note of C, right? It is the C note. The thing is, we need the combination. We need the G. We need the C and G, and it's in those harmonics where healing takes place. And it's understanding how we overlap and how interconnected we are. You might even call it entangled, right? Quantum entanglement. This is where Einstein said, this is spooky energy at a distance. He wasn't sure exactly how it worked. We're just understanding that ourselves. But you see, we are so interconnected. The answer is not to separate. The answer is to heal those overlapping places, to find the peace within the harmonics. It does not mean giving up the self. It means I hear you, and I can sing that back to you, but I too also need to be heard. I too have my voice, my frequency, and together we can create harmony. It could be dissonant. That's okay too. That's also a form of harmonics, right? Dissonance. But we need to find out how these work together, not pulling them apart and getting rid of the overlap. Instead, it's healing that. And so the beautiful piece in Reiki, in sound healing, in working with entrainment and vibration, all of that is about healing the flower of life, and it's quite beautiful. Now, the second piece, if you don't mind my going on, the second piece is really about the subtle bodies. I mentioned that at the beginning here. We have a physical body, and where empaths and sensitive people sometimes overemphasize how it feels in the physical. I am suddenly ill. I am nauseous. I have a headache because of the energy around me. We pick all these things up, and often it comes up in the physical. But you have 4 lower bodies. And I know that I've heard people teaching this in different ways. I'm guided that this is how the energy field works around us, so I'm going to teach it in this way. We have a physical body. Beyond that, we have the energy body, also known as the etheric body. It's also called the light body or the memory body. That's an important piece when we're talking about vibration. And that goes from within the physical to just a little bit out from the body. But I'm also shown that it moves. And so it has these pulses that go out even further from you through the auric field, your aura. Beyond the energy body, we have the thought body. And that's where your thought forms go out and start to manifest, right? A while ago, we were all, and perhaps you still are, we're working on controlling our thoughts so that I get what I need or what I sense I want. And we're manifesting something to come forward. And it's mostly coming through the thought body. Certainly that can work, but it is much easier and clearer when you understand that there's much more to it. Beyond the thought body is the emotional body. And I'm shown and told a piece that is so important. The emotional body reaches out further than all the other three bodies. It has a far reach and it's unlimited in its reach. Our emotions. Now there's more to that and how it connects to the elementals and the Elohim, but that emotional body really can pick up things that vibrate like it. So why am I sharing the four lower bodies? It's because of the law of vibration. And this is a law of physics. This is not your will. This is not something you can change. It is true for everyone. Like vibrates like. That is the law of vibration. So when you are holding, let's say fear, that's such a common one these days. If you are fearful at all, even apprehensive, fear has a certain vibration. It's a low vibration, by the way. If there is anything in the larger field, in that flower of life, that resonates at that low level, you've now invited it in. You have opened the door, set its place at the table, invited it in to stay with you. It's yours. Now, so many times we think, oh, I feel bad because of something out there. That happened and it's triggering me to feel badly. Now, that thing about trigger, I've been told, if you've been triggered, it's because you've been holding a gun. Right? You need to put all of that down and release that and be responsible for what you're truly holding. So if you are fearful, you will attract things like it and you bring in energy. Like vibrates like. That's the law of vibration. It's what's happening when empaths are overwhelmed, when sensitive people are unable to be out in a crowded space. It's because truly they don't know how to hold their space.
Okay, so now I've got 100 questions. The one that feels most important, and maybe the language that I use in asking this is a little off, so feel free to throw it back at me with different language. But if we want to move away from this idea of protecting our circle in the flower of life, or getting rid of what no longer serves us, then how do we approach relationships that don't feel good, or wounds that we're still holding on to, or anger that we have because of this that happened? Is it forgiveness? Is that the key to harmonizing those circles? Is my question landing with you?
Yes, Melissa. I don't know if you've read my book, but that is in my book, Forgiveness, Journey to a Clear Place. That really is the energy healing piece that needs to happen in order to requalify that energy. So we are a part of the larger field. We have been hurt. You've been hurt. I've been hurt. There are things to overcome. The thing is, we need to own our energy field, hold our space with that energy. This happened. I am angry. I am hurt. I am fearful. All of those things. But we don't stop there, right? We don't stop there and cocoon and go in. Instead, there is something for us to learn, accept, and to heal. Forgiveness is the energy healing that we need to requalify the dysfunctional energies around us. That's a real important piece. And so I truly believe those of us who are incredibly sensitive and have been feeling this energy, it's not to hurt you. It is because you are here to lead the way. As I say, we've been waiting for you. You are the energy healers. And it starts truly with your ability to look within and find out what's truly going on in my own energy field. Where have I closed off? Where have I refused to look because it's too painful? And sometimes I've even called that forgiveness. Let me unpack that a little bit. So many times out in the world, we're saying, oh yeah, I've forgiven that. I'm totally over it. And it's usually with a gesture like this, right? Because that's a nice way of saying, I don't want to deal with it. That's a form of denial. And that forgive and forget piece, now that's not sacred. Yeah, that was found in literature a few hundred years ago. Forgive and forget. That is not a sacred mantra. The forgetting is often just looking the other way and pretending it's not there. We really need to call it all back, reclaim that energy, because you are losing life force energy there. If you are refusing to look at something, there's something there for you to reclaim in yourself. Forgiveness is not an acceptance of poor behavior. Justice is justice, right? The system of law is the system of law. That's not what I'm talking about. Forgiveness actually is releasing your ability to punish somebody else. Releasing your ability to punish somebody else. So guess what? You then are responsible for the energy you're holding. And if you're holding resentment, even if you said, oh yeah, no, I'm done, I forgave that, but I don't want to talk to them ever again, and that's that, right? That no longer serves me. Somewhere within you, resentment lives. And it really is an important piece for us to get clear so we can raise our vibration. That's what I call the courses in my Reiki classes. Reiki 1 is getting clear. Yeah. Accepting what's here, sending light and love, being willing to look at those pieces within that need to be healed and shifted. Right? And then Reiki 2 in my coursework is raising your vibration. Now, a lot of people want to jump to number 2. Yeah, let's just raise our vibration. That's where they go, and perhaps they're, taking the quick psychedelic, or, the thing that would be mind altering and, expanding in that way to raise their vibration. That's not what I'm shown to do. I am told that the answer is within, that we need to see what's there to get very, very clear so that we can heal ourselves and therefore send the healing energy out. Yeah, and the process really is a form of forgiveness.
So beautiful and so helpful. Something that came up as you were sharing all of that was this phrase of holding space. I was waiting for you to say, hold space for yourself in that process. And I'm curious if you would describe what you were just talking about as holding space for ourselves, or if holding space means something else to you. Can you speak to that phrase? Because we use it a lot. And I'm just wondering if it's a word like God, where we, a phrase that we sort of all have our own understanding. I'm curious from your perspective what holding space really means and looks like.
Yeah, thank you for that, Melissa. I used to use it in that way too, that it was a touchy-feely, beautiful way of, sending light, holding space, things like that you could do for other people. It's through my angelic guidance that I received very specific directions on what it means to hold space. So let me share that with you. It really has to do with another sacred geometric form, and it's the Merkaba. Some people say Merkaba, some people say Merkaba. I've heard it in all different ways. Merkaba, Merkaba. Let me show you what that is here. So this is a beautiful structure example. I think you can see that here. It's a double tetrahedron. Yeah, there is a pyramid that is going up, we'll call north, and a pyramid facing downward, we'll call that south. Yeah. Now, what you need to know, just like the flower of life, there is a Merkaba inside each and every one of those flowers. Yeah. There is a Merkaba around holding the auric field of every living being and creature, and even energy field. There is a Merkaba around each of the chakras, and they are connected by the southern axis to the northern axis. And then the next chakra is connected by the southern axis down here to the northern axis. But let's talk right now about how this is around you. So when I used to think of holding space as something rather vague, I then was corrected and shown that holding space is tending to your Merkaba. So this is around each and every one of us. This is your southern axis. This is actually around you beneath your feet if you're standing. If you're sitting, it sort of moves back underneath in alignment with the chakra column. So it would be directly underneath the root chakra, but still connecting you to Mother Earth. It moves with you. It is a part of Mother Earth as well. It's about 24 inches below your feet. This is your soul star chakra. This is above the crown. So now you see that we have this alignment of the full chakra system, those 7 popular chakras along the midline, through the earth star and the soul star. Now, there are more above us, and those connect to your higher selves. Yeah, and this connects further up, further up. This is endless, and it is the structure of life. Okay, if you connect these planes, you'll see the icosahedron within here as well. Yeah, and so you see Plato's the Platonic solids coming through as the basic structure of all of life. Let's talk just a little bit more about how these work. The pyramid that is pointing northward, this is a masculine energy that's around all of us. The one that's pointing southward into Mother Earth, that is a feminine energy. This is the electronic energy that moves around us. This is the magnetic energy that comes back up. We are magnetized from Mother Earth so that we can pull that energy up. It goes back out and around. So through the chakra column, we're sending continually energy that goes out electrically and coming back in magnetically. This is also known as your electromagnetic field. So what I'm told to do when it is difficult, when we're in times of stress, when I've just been scrolling on one of the social media feeds, notice how it feeds you, right? When I'm scrolling and have been changed by what I just read or experienced, to hold space, disconnect from that, hold space, go down and reach into my earth star chakra beneath my feet, feel it balanced and centered underneath me. Sometimes I even get a little jolt as I get that energy back and connect with the soul star chakra. That one does not move off. I'm told that's a matter of divine grace. But the earth star will move. Under here, it will move depending on where our thoughts are. If we are holding space with negative vibrations, the earth star might move off. Then our Merkaba may go off center. We may feel a little wonky or wobbly. We may become vulnerable to lower energies. We may even feel sick, right? Get back onto the Merkaba, hold your space, hold your strength, hold your electromagnetic field. It's not up to anybody else to do this for you. Believe me, I've tried to do it for my daughter, but what I needed to do was teach her about the Earth Star Chakra and holding that underneath her. Yeah, this is our responsibility for the health, for your own health and for the health of the planet, is to hold space, making sure, tending to the Merkaba around us. When you are balanced, you will feel it, and the chakras will flow in a beautiful way with such strength and love and light. So it's real important to learn that holding space is something very literal.
I love it. And it's not like this is new that I'm hearing you say this for the first time, but it's landing with me in a whole new way. And I love how you're talking about how you can't do this for somebody else. We often talk about holding space for others. And when I talk about it, I usually go like this, because really I think what I'm doing, it's like I'm wanting to send them Reiki energy. I'm wanting to let it flow through me towards them so that then they can really create their own ability to hold space. So thank you for your really beautiful.
That, Melissa. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's beautiful. And that is what Reiki does. A Reiki practitioner does hold space for somebody else because we come in an agreement. Somebody comes in and says, I would like to see this shifted in my life. I would like this to be healed. This is what I'm experiencing. And the practitioner does not set the intention, but the one receiving it does. But I, as the practitioner, will stand in agreement with you. I will hold space with you during that session. But then when you leave, I detach and you go with your energy and I remain with mine. It is not a muddy area of moving into somebody's energetic field and shifting things around or moving the furniture. Yeah, it has to be in agreement.
And I think for sensitive, empathic people, what you just said is so important because our those of us who are really empathic and want to help and want to be loving and want others to do that for us can often get into these really muddied, um, unclean relationships or expectations in relationship or emotional entanglements. And what I just heard you describing is very loving for self and others and very clean and very clear and very separate. There's not an unlovingness in that separation. It's actually incredibly loving.
Yeah, it is an act of love to give somebody back their energy and to recall your own, because the love is also for yourself. You must love yourself as well, not over anyone else. I've been told this as well. This may feel a little strange. We've said over and over again that you cannot love anyone else until you learn to love yourself. I'm told that is not the correct paradigm. I'm told the paradigm is you cannot love anyone until you can love everyone. Now that's very different. And it doesn't mean, a physical love. It means, though, a love from the heart. Unconditional love is truly the answer here. Unconditional love and bringing that light, bringing your own vibration into the situation is exactly what is needed. Not to lose yourself within it, but in order to hold yourself strong within this beautiful flower of life. Your circle matters.
I love it. Lori, there's so many things I want to ask you. I wish we could keep our conversation going forever, and I also know that you do really beautiful guided meditations. And so I'm hoping that maybe we can pause our conversation here and maybe you would lead us in a little bit of a meditation because they are just some of my favorite ones that I've ever been guided on. And so I'm wondering if you'd be open to doing that.
Yes, I'd be honored, Melissa. Thank you. Thank you. And so this meditation I was asked to deliver to whoever was going to find their way here. And so I trust that whoever wishes to do this with us will receive what they need to, because again, this was guided. It's not a specific meditation that I've done in the past, but this is for you and the beautiful circle assembled here. So go ahead and make yourselves comfortable. Breathe into the space. There have been a lot of words spoken, so allow them to just dissipate and fall into Mother Earth as you claim your space. And claiming space just means to bring your awareness to it, to acknowledge it as yours. So reach down beneath your feet, whether you are sitting cross-legged in a chair or perhaps standing, lying down. Your Earth Star chakra knows where it is, so do not fret. It is beneath you. So connect with that beautiful ball of light that's spinning, holding space for you, connecting you with Mother Earth. If you have been fearful, worried, concerned, or holding any lower vibrations, that Earth Star chakra may be moved off to the right or left. Simply invite it back underneath you. It will move back with your invitation. Because of free will, it's up to you to ask for it to return. There you go. I feel some shifting there. Notice when you shift, the heart opens, the abdomen relaxes, the pressure in the head releases. This is you centered, fully present. In your mind's eye, you see yourself walking through a forest. It is a lovely, supportive environment. And as you are moving through the trees along a path, you see the light and the shadows alternating as the sun moves through the trees and you move through the forest. Feel the light. Feel the shadows. Feel the coolness of the air, the moisture. See all the colors. Hear the sounds of the forest. And know that everything you are experiencing, everything that becomes one in your awareness is there for your healing, for your journey. You are fully supported on this planet. You may see animals there. Feel their blessing as well. Such joy in this life. As you follow this path, you see a clearing in the forest up ahead. As you come to the clearing, there is something like an altar place, a table, a bench, maybe even a tree stump. This has been prepared for you. Notice what you notice as you go toward this altar place, this sacred table that has been set for you. There is a golden cup, and inside that golden cup is something like a blue flame. You see blue and white, perhaps some gold sparks. This is a sacred flame. This is not a flame that burns or destroys. It is a sacred flame. This flame holds an electronic essence. This essence, this vibration, has both protection and strength. I'm going to be quiet for a moment or two while you experience the energy within this cup, within this chalice, the sacred flame of electronic essence. It will guide you. Follow its guidance. I'm being told to share. Notice how this flame is playful. Protection and strength, yes, but there is joy and play in life on earth. Do not be afraid. Your sensitivity is a gift, dear ones. When you accept the gift of this blue flame, you will accept the gift of your own sensitivity. It is always your choice. It is always your will. If you are to accept this gift, know that your beautiful angelic guides are now placing an aspect, a piece, a small part of this blue flame, this electronic essence in, around, or through you. Notice where it is being placed. And we lovingly ask, why is it being placed in this particular area of my 4 lower bodies? How will this assist me? Receive the answer. We take a moment to show gratitude for this gift, for this rebalancing, for this righting of the Merkaba, for this healing of our circle and our part in the flower of life. Feel the clarity, the calm, the blessings. Knowing that you can come back to this space at any time. We take a deep breath and pull the consciousness back into the physical body of you and your space, connecting once again with the Earth Star chakra beneath you, being fully present to the here and now. And as you gently blink your eyes open, see the space around you. See the colors, the light, the shadows, the shapes, your own physical body. I trust you received whatever you were meant to from that experience. Again, I think it was very personal as it moves out in a wider space. Blessings to you all.
Thank you, Lori. Thank you so much. I am really fortunate to get to study with you and experience your sound healing in person here in Southern California. But for people who are with us, who want to learn from you, work with you, do you have online offerings, or how can people get in touch with you if they're not here in Southern California?
Yeah, I'd be happy to work with you. And I do have a beautiful space here for in-person work. And quite often I will also do a hybrid form of class where it will be for people in person and at a distance. And so you're welcome to look into those classes. It's not all the classes, but I do offer them throughout the year, so you can look to that. It's really important, if not even with me, I'm not trying to, bring you into my space, but I think it's so important for, first of all, humanity to learn about energy. I think Reiki 1 is such an important piece. And so that's where you learn about energy. That's where you learn about how to clear your space, hold your space, and how energy can be used to help you get clear. And to that end as well, I wrote Forgiveness, Journey to a Clear Place. That's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, many other places. You can just search for that. And Kindle, I always keep that at, priced lower so that everybody can afford to just learn the material, because I think it's that important. And so hopefully you'll continue on your path through energy healing. especially for sensitive empaths.
I, as somebody who has studied Reiki 1 under you, want to echo the impact that it had on me as a sensitive person, and I co-sign the power of it. So thank you for making it available to people who aren't physically close to you. It's wonderful. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time left, even though I wish that we had many hours more, because there's so much richness here. But before we have to say goodbye, I'm wondering if there's maybe anything that we didn't have a chance to touch on that you want to share with listeners, or any other sort of nuggets of inspiration that you want to leave people with.
I just think it's important for you to understand it is always your free will that matters. And so if you've been an empathic, sensitive that's been sitting back and waiting to receive the guidance, waiting to receive the fireworks and the movies of your clairaudience, clairvisuality, understand that free will matters in the universe on the side of spirit. And so lean into it, even speak out loud. I want to know more about this. I want to know how I can grow through my own empathy. This is not a challenge as much as it is a blessing. And so when you start to realize that you're here for something larger, it doesn't mean you have to become a practitioner. It doesn't mean that you have to, quit your job and start something new unless you want to. Again, free will. But know that there is so much more for you in the healing of the universe, and I welcome you and encourage you on your path of awakening. I think that's what's happening right now. This is an awakening of the empath. That is a big piece, and I am so delighted to have you doing the work. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lori. Thank you for your time and your wisdom and your beautiful translation of the work that you do. It's really a deep appreciation. And thank you to everybody for joining us for this session. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Thank you.